throughout your illustrious and groundbreaking career. From the moment you arrived in Seattle, you demonstrated your incredible passion, respect, and love of the game of baseball. Every time you stepped on the field, you energized fans in the Northwest, in Japan, and around the world with both your skill and your style of play. You were an inspiration to everyone. And you did it all while staying true to yourself, showcasing your wonderful personality both in the clubhouse and on the field. It was simply a joy to watch you play, and you continue to make an impact on the next generation of players as one of the game's greatest ambassadors. Ichiro, on behalf of everyone in our organization, Chairman and Managing Partner John Stanton, our partnership group, and our fans, it's truly my honor and privilege to announce that the Mariners are retiring your number 51 jersey. After your induction in Cooperstown this summer, we'll hold a ceremony here at T-Mobile Park on August 9th and officially retire your number 51 next to Hall of Famers Ken Griffey Jr., Edgar Martinez, and Jackie Robinson for permanent display in center field at our great ballpark. Ichiro, again, congratulations, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, Kevin, and thank you, Ichiro. Congratulations. At this time, we'll start taking questions. Please wait to be handed a wireless microphone. There are runners on each side of the room that will hand a mic. When you get the microphone, please identify yourself, both for Ichiro and for our fans watching and listening at home. Again, we'll begin with questions in English and then take that short break. A final note before we start taking questions. Tonight at 6 p.m., the Space Needle will be lit up in blue in celebration of Ichiro. We will provide photos and video via our normal media channels of that honor from the Space Needle. And with that, first question. Chris?
Chris Egan, King 5. Ichiro, congratulations. You've had a little time to think about this. Can you just talk about what this day means to you that it has finally come?
今日やっと来て、今どういう気持ちですか？
まずこの日を迎えるということが2001年、僕が、初めて MLB に挑戦した年におそらく地球上の誰も想像はできなかったと思うんですよね。でここまで、アメリカで25年、現役は19年ということですけども、その振り返ると、あまりにも多くの出来事が、あって、いいことだけではありませんでした。もう苦しいこともたくさんありましたけど、最終的に、ここに一歩ずつ近づいていった。でそして今日この日を迎えられたことは、言葉では言い表せないほどの気持ちです、今。
It started in 2001, and now it's 2025. But at that time in 2001, there was probably not one person on this earth that thought that this day would come. And obviously, many things have happened. There are many, not just good, but there are some bad too. But to be able to, through all the things that have happened, to be able to be here means quite a bit of a lot, and just a very honor and a special day for me to hear today.
Nico? Then Shannon?
Nico Tamuri and Como News here in Seattle. Ichiro, you gave an entire generation of Mariner fans something to cheer for, something to believe in, rally behind, and now what does that mean to you that you're giving them another Hall of Famer from this franchise?
たくさんそのファンには、いいところを見せられたと思うんですけど、こうやってホール・オブ・フェームに入ったっていうこれを見せられるということはファンにとって、一郎さんどういう気持ちですか？
それは野球ファンという意味ですか？シアトルのファンという意味ですか？
Seattle fans?
シアトルのファンの方々に対しては、12年の途中まで僕は2001年からプレーして、トレードでニューヨークに行ったんですけれども、その後マイアミに行って18年にシアトルに戻ってきたんですけど、その時に迎え入れてくれた温かい気持ち、これはもういろいろ今回振り返ってみたんですけど、18年の開幕戦はもう僕のトップいくつでしょうかね、もうトップ5に入るぐらいのハイライトでした。そのシアトルのファンの方々の前で、球団に対してもですね、その出ていった選手をまた戻してくれた、その思いがとても嬉しかったですし、人の思いがこんなにも刺さるというか、自分がやったことというよりも人のその気持ちがすごく、この年になってたからなのか、経験を経て、なったのか、ちょっとそこは分からないんですけども、特別な関係になりましたね、18年で。
2001, my journey here began, and 2012 it ended, and I went to New York and then on to Miami. But then in 2018, I was able to come back. Obviously grateful for the organization that brought me back. But I remember that opening day, 2018, how warm and welcoming the fans were. And that moment will definitely be the top 5 moment in my career, where the Seattle fans really accepted me again. And it just meant so much to have felt them. And as I've gone through my career, met with lots of people, and obviously I interacted with many people, but I felt like those people's kindness and their feelings really helped me perform and also be the person that I am. And so that interaction of that 2018 with the fans, it means a whole lot. And so obviously the feelings that I have towards the Seattle fans is very special.
Shannon Dreyer, Seattle Sports. Congratulations, Ichiro. I don't think any of us are ever going to get that phone call, and I'm hoping you can share with us what is the emotion when they tell you something that you know has been out there for a long time is going to happen. It's happening. And also, what was the first thought that went through your mind?
その電話を今日もらったっていうのはなかなか誰も経験できないことであって、その経験についてどういう気持ちだったかっていうのを教えてください。
2時15分から待機をしました。でこれは電話がかかってくることが前提の準備だったので、15分を過ぎて電話が鳴らなかった時にこれないんじゃないかと思ってすごく不安になりました。で実際電話かかってきて、その報告を受けて、その時にだからすごく嬉しかった、やったというよりももうほっとしたという気持ちの方が強かったですね。おそらく喜びはこれから出てくるんじゃないでしょうか。
So it was all set up. It was set up, and we were supposed to. There was a time frame, and 2:15 could have been the first, time that it could have happened. And so we were set up like it was going to happen. And so we were ready at 2:15, and that call didn't come for about 15 minutes. And so I started to think, maybe it's not going to come. And so there's that nerves and those worries that came. And once it came, it was more of a relief because that it did come. So I think the happiness and all the joy will probably come later. At that time, it was just a relief.
Ichiro, Adam Jude, Seattle Times. Looking back, what were some of the major challenges for you in 2001, being the first Japanese position player to play in the majors? And now, how meaningful is it for you to be the first player from Japan to be elected into the Hall of Fame?
2001年初の日本の野手として来てどんなに大変だったか、そのことについて聞きたいのと、今ホール・オブ・フェイムマンになって日本人として初の日本人としてなってどういう気持ちですか
2001年は、野手で初めての挑戦であったということもあって、で僕は日本で、7年続けて、首位打者を取ってのタイミングだったので、アベレージヒッターにとっては僕がその指標になるというか、僕を基準にされるという認識がありました。野手の評価、日本人の野手の評価は僕の1年目で決まるという、そういう思いを背負ってプレーした記憶があります。で、その後、3年プレーした時に、ようやく、周りからも、アメリカ、主にはアメリカの方ですねにもある程度認めてもらったというか、そういう感触がありました。で、それから長い時間を経て、今日に至るわけですけど、日本人選手として、初めてのということは、僕を表現するときに何かとつきまとうものなんですけど、今現在現状今日の気持ちで言えばそれが何かにつながるとかそういうふうには現段階では捉えられないです。おそらく時間が経った時にあれはこういうことだったな、いろんなことがそうであるようにこれもその一つだというふうに思います。やっぱり時間が経ってからでないと、人っていうのは今この現在起きていることが、正しいか間違いかとかそういう判断が難しいわけですね。だからこれもその一つだと思っています。
2001, there were as the first Japanese position player coming over, I had just finished 7 years of being the leading hitter in that league, coming over. There was definitely, I felt like there was going to be judgment on especially the hitters that hit for a high average. I felt like there was going to be judgment on Japanese baseball. And so there was definitely that pressure and that I knew that how I performed was going to be really looked at as, this is Japanese baseball. And then after 3 years of playing in the major leagues, I felt like I was able to show people here that this is what I can do, and that's kind of when I felt like that I belonged, and that I think the people saw what I was capable of. And then the 2000, now with this Hall of Fame, right now I really don't know what it's going to do or how this is going to impact anybody or anything. I'm not sure, but probably I'll look back at this, years down the road and say, oh, this was great or this was this or so. At this moment, it's tough to say what it means to me now, but I'll know later what this is and what this means to me.
Ichiro, Curtis Crabtree, Fox 13. Looking back on your career, what is it that you view as your biggest on-field accomplishment? Is it breaking George Sisler's record? Is it playing till you're 45? Is it any number of game-winning moments you had? What kind of stands out to you as one of the highlight of your career?
野球で一番イチローさんがもう一番これだって達成感があったっていう。
いろんな記録が僕にまつわる数字はあるんですけれども、おそらく多くの人が経験できるものではない時間というふうに捉えると、18年 の5月の頭から選手としてはプレーができなくなった時間ですね。で翌年の引退につながる2019年の3月につながるわけですけど、18年の5月頭から9月終わりまで10月頭までですね、練習だけの時間を過ごした次の年を信じて、この時間はなかなか経験できるものではないと今振り返っても思います。おそらくこの先もそう思うと思います。あるプレー、ある記録というものよりも、この経験が僕の支えになっていると言えると思います。でさらには2019年の引退ですね。東京ドームでも引退のあの時間は僕は引退をお知らせしていなかったので、にもかかわらず、試合が終わって何時間も経ってもお客さんが、球場にとどまってくれて僕を待っていてくれた、あの瞬間は大きな僕の支えとこれからもなると思います。
There are records and many numbers that I have that are obviously special, but one that comes to mind is in 2018, in May of 2018, I was no longer an active Major League Baseball player. Until 2019 spring training, I was not on the roster, and so all I could do was come to the field and practice. I came to the field, practiced with the team, and that was an everyday thing. And that's an experience that not many guys get to experience. But I did that. I came to the ballpark every day, and 2019, because I was able to prepare myself and come to the ballpark every day in 2018 and prepare myself to play in 2019, I was given the opportunity to do that. And in 2019, I hadn't told anybody that I was going to be retiring. So when the game finished and everything, all the media stuff was finished, the fans were still there. And so I went out, and obviously the fans were there, and that experience that I had there. So those two, the 2018 and the 2019, those things will be something that I cherish and something that will help me throughout my life, and something that I can look back on and feel with joy and cherish those moments. But those experiences, that 2018, not being able to play in the games but still practice and be here, that's going to be what comes to mind when you ask that question.
Mike Benton, KGR Radio. Ichiro, congratulations. It's been well noted that you've been all about consistency in your career. What's the one piece of advice that you would give to a young player about the journey that you've taken to get here today?
イチローさんのこの、素晴らしい、コンスタントにやり続けたってるっていうのは聞いてるんですけど、もし始める選手、そのプロになった選手ばっかりの方とかにアドバイスを与えるとしたらどういうことを伝えますか？
僕が18歳でプロ野球選手になった時に、まずメジャーリーグでプレーするなんていうことは想像すらできませんでした。それが日本でプレーしていくうちに、アメリカでプレーしたいという、気持ちが芽生えてくる。徐々に段階を経て進んできたという感触がすごくあるんですね。でアメリカに来てからも何年プレーできるかなんて全く分かりませんでした。それが最終的には19年まで続き今日に至ると。もう才能ある人たちもたくさんいます。もう僕なんかもとても比較にならないぐらい才能にあふれた人はいっぱいいます。 でもそれはそれを生かすも殺すも自分自身だということですね。その自分の能力を生かす能力というのはまた別にあるということは知っておいてほしい。才能があるのになかなかそれを生かせないという人はいっぱいいます。怪我に苦しむ人もいます。自分をどれだけ知っているかということが、結果に大きく影響しているということを知っておいてマイナスはないと思いますね。
When I was 18, when I became a professional baseball player, I didn't have a goal or a dream, or I didn't think that I was going to come to the United States and play in the major leagues. Only after playing in Japan and getting to a certain point did that possibility or that hope really came alive. And the same thing in 2001 when I first got here. I didn't know how long I was going to play here in the big leagues, but as I played and as gradually had many experiences, then you start to see where you can be. And so what I would say to somebody would be, that there are so many guys that have way more talent than I do. There's so many great players out there. But I really would love for them to, because maybe they get hurt or they're not able to live up to their potential. But I really would love for them to understand themselves and get to know themselves and to know what you can do. And that will help them gradually get to the point where they need to be. But they need to know themselves first. And so that's what I would tell them, to do, because there are so many talented guys out there that don't get to where they want to go. And so really get to know yourself, and gradually that will open up, and they'll see what they need to do to get there.
Jen Mueller, Root Sports. What does the number 51 mean to you, and what does it mean that it will be retired?
永久欠番になるということ、51っていうのは一郎さんにどういう数字ですか？
サインするときに51がずっと使えるっていうのはめちゃくちゃ嬉しいですね。
One, the fact that when I sign my name, that I can use number 51, that means a lot to me.
あとは今まだ51歳なんで、そのタイミングでこれはまたなかなかこう
And then also,
特別なものです。
I'm 51 right now, and so that means a lot too. So it all means a lot.
Angie Mentink with Root Sports. And Ichi, so excited for you. I know that today has been very much a whirlwind, but what former Mariner teammates have you heard from, and what was their message to you?
いろんな、今日大変だと思いますけど、いろんな人から多分メッセージあったと思うんですけど、元チームメイトから誰かから連絡ありましたか？
まだ実は見ていないんですけど、メッセージの中身は見てないです。でもその中の一つに、サービス監督ですね、元スコットからあったのはすごく嬉しかったですね。実は監督を昨年のシーズンの途中で退かれて、どのタイミングで連絡すればいいのかが分からなくて連絡できないままでいたんですね。で今日スコットから名前だけですけど中身見てないんですけど、まだそれがあったのすごく嬉しかったです。
I haven't had time to look through the messages. I just saw some names, but I was really happy that I got a message from Scott Service. When he was let go last year, I didn't get a chance to talk with him, and I really wanted to talk with him, and I just kind of didn't know that timing, and it kind of just prolonged it, and I haven't been able to speak with him. And so when I saw that he had texted me, I was very happy, and I hope that I can talk with him.
もしジュニアとマイク・スイニーからなかったら説教します。
And if I don't get one from Junior and Sweeney, I'll get mad at him.
Ichiro, Brad Adam will keep the Root Sports questions coming. Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, obviously a very special place for you as well. You've been there, you know the history of the game. When did that fascination with you begin with the Baseball Hall of Fame? Start thinking about that, maybe envisioning yourself there, and what will it be like now the next time you go, you'll be a member of that Hall of Fame?
クーパースタウンはイチローさんにとって特別だって知ってるんですけど、いつそのクーパースタウンが特別だったか、そして今度戻るときどういうこう特別があると思いますか？
初めてクーパースタウンに行ったのが2001年。その時はですね、その後もなんですけど、いろいろな過去の選手と記録でこう交わることがあって、で彼らが当時使っていた道具を見てみたいなという、そういう気持ちがすごくありました。博物館に行くといろいろツアーで見られるんですけど、特別な地下にこう昔の選手の道具が大切に保管されていて、そこに行くのが僕は大好きなんですけど、2001年は、確かシューレス・ジョー・ジャクソンの記録、ルーキーのヒットの数ですね、それと、僕は242でしたけど、その記録と交わったことがあって見に行きました。で驚いたのはシューズがあったことです。ジョー・ジャクソンの靴履いてないんだと思ってたら靴があった。それにすごい驚いたことと、後にそれは1試合だけだったということを知って、人の思い込みというのは怖いなという、経験を、するんですけど、もう何度も訪れたのは誰かの記録とやっぱりこう関わった時、その選手たちと、現代に生きる自分がこう道具を触ることによってなんかこう会話ができるような感触、話ができる感触があって、すごく気持ちいい体験として残っています。
2001 was the first time I visited the Hall of Fame, and the Hall of Fame, I was able to go into the dungeons, underneath, and feel the bats and the gloves of past players. Now, what was really interesting for me is the records and the numbers that I put up. I was able to go to the Hall of Fame and really get close to that player. In 2001, it ended up being Shoeless Joe Jackson. My hits 242 as a rookie was something that he had done or something. So I was able to get close to him, and I was able to touch his stuff. And I found out that he had shoes. I didn't know that. I always thought that he didn't wear shoes. And I found out that it was just that one game that he didn't wear shoes. And so, kind of you have to gain knowledge, I guess. That's what I thought. But so yeah, that ended up being kind of the theme when I would go back, and this year it was this person that I was able to get close to because of the numbers that I put up, and feel their equipment, and it was almost like having a conversation with them, and it's just such a special feeling that you get there, and so that's why for me going to the Hall of Fame was special because of that.
もう一点言うと、やっぱ現代に生きているとすごいもう生活しているだけでストレス、特に今はそうですよね。もう生きているだけでストレスがたまる、社会になりました。でそういう中で野球だけの街があって、で自分が現役でプレーしている選手が、過去のその気持ちがいい思い出があって、またそこを再び訪ねてこう心が洗われるというかね、そういう記憶もありました。だから僕はクーパースタウンっていうのは現役を引退してから行く場所というよりも現役中に行ってほしい場所なんですよね、経験上。今の選手たちにもぜひ訪ねてほしい。僕が勧められる 唯一の場所と言っていいかもしれないですね、野球選手にとっては。
You know, in this day and age, there's so much stress, especially, the world we live in today. But man, there's a town just for baseball. And, you go there and you see maybe something that you experienced or you saw. There's so many things that you can gain from going there, and you just feel just at peace. And I always felt like the Hall of Fame was for active players. I really felt like all the players need to go, and they could feel just that peace that baseball brings, and it's not for retired guys, that it's for really the active players to go and get the peace that they need to keep playing. And so if there's a place that I recommend going to, that would be the place, Cooperstown, for sure, for everybody to go.
Take a final question over here in English.
Yeah, Ichiro, going back to the number 51 and what it means, there was that story of when you came stateside of reaching out to Randy Johnson, who had worn it last, and just take us back to, what was that conversation like with him when you found out you were getting 51, and also the fact now that this number is being retired, that not only represents your great career, but his as well.
51っていう数字をもらった時に、ランディ・ジョンソンがいたっていうので、どういう何か会話とか、どうやって51になったかで、これからもちろんイチローさんだけではなく、もちろんランディ・ジョンソンもつけてたっていうので、なんかそういう気持ちって何かありますか？
当時、51をつけることになるときに、特別な番号だということは認識していました。当然、シアトルの街にとっても、球団にとってももちろんそうです。ファンにとっても。でこの番号を、怪我してはいけない。これが51番をつけた選手がもうただの普通の選手だったら、これはランディ・ジョンソンに対してもう申し訳が立たないし、そういう覚悟すごくありましたね。日本人選手、野手として初めてというのも大きな一つでしたけど、51番というのが一つ、特にシアトルにとって特別な番号であったこともあって、僕の中にはすごく重く存在していた、そういう記憶があります。
When I first got the number 51, I knew that number 51 was a special number. I knew that it was a special number to the organization, and I knew that it was a special number to the fans here in Seattle. Obviously, I didn't want to. I wanted to make sure that number 51 was not going to be to make sure that it did justice, make sure that the 51 was not going to be embarrassed. And so, and also I felt like if number 51 was just an average player, that it would be, I guess, I wouldn't do Randy Johnson justice. I knew that for that number to keep going, and for that, I took very seriously that I needed to do well, to make sure that I perform well in that number. And so I remember feeling that pressure when I got that number.
だから2001年のオールスターの1打席目はランディ・ジョンソンと対戦したわけですけど、1打席忘れられないですね。オールスターの記憶、たくさんある中で、サンフランシスコでの、インサイドパークありますけど、 ランディ・ジョンソンとの対戦オールスターでの、これは実は深く記憶に残っているシーンです。
You know, in 2001 in the All-Star game, I was able to face Randy Johnson at Safeco Field, and obviously I've had great memories of All-Star games. You know, the home run in San Francisco, but you know, that moment it meant a lot because of the fact that it was Randy Johnson and I was able to face him at home.
でそこに一緒にいてくれたね、今日ジョン・ルルドがここにいてくれることすごく嬉しいです。でも希望としてはヘルメットかぶっててほしかったです。
You know, and to have a former teammate and a All-Star member on that 2001 year, John Allrood's here. So happy to see John. I wish he would have worn his helmet though, but so happy he's here.
Thank you. As I said, we'll take a very brief break. If people would like to exit the not cool room, you're welcome to do that now, and we'll take questions in Japanese starting in less than 60 seconds. The press box is open to work in. If people would prefer to work up there, that is available. But anyone who is stepping out, if you could step out, and anyone who remains in the room, even if you're not filming, please be respectful of the questions to follow.
ほとんど訳せたんで